Welcome back. Laura here with my Psychic Soul Healer readings for you, meaning I do spiritual, psychological healing the effects of trauma. Because when we have trauma, we form behaviorisms that block us from health, wealth, and all around emotional fulfillment. We tend to get in our own way, where we start to believe then that we can't obtain the life and the life experiences that we want to have because again we have gone through experiences that have told us that we can't do it. So shadow healing is really what the theme of this channel is all about. So I do these type of readings in conjunction with looking into soulmate, twin flame, and all those other important topics. But the difference is that if you log in every day and you watch a YouTube video and you want to check in to see whether or not the man of your dreams is still interested in you or what they're going to do, what you'll notice is every day the reading's different because the reading goes to whoever needs it, because that's how spiritual energy works. Well, it's hard to follow because again, not every day is the reading going to be for you. Not every day the message is for you. However, when you watch my channel, my hope is that you also learn not just whether your person's going to come back, but what is the spiritual block? What's blocking you from obtaining the relationship you want, even if it's not that person? Understand spiritual blocks is we can have a spiritual block about a relationship where we really love a person and feel like we want to be with a person, but then everything tells us that that person's not good for us, but then we don't seem to be able to get over that person. Believe it or not, that's a spiritual block. That's one that keeps you stagnant. And then understanding why does it feel better to be stagnant? So a lot of times healing, it's like an onion, they say, right? Because there's many different layers to it. So I find that spiritual readings allow you to take your power back. They also allow you to be able to see your situation from a different perspective, one that doesn't, where you're not taking things personal, one where you're learning, where you're integrating those shadow aspects of yourself that you resonate with within the storyline. Because understand, we all have been in many of the situations that unfold within a card reading. Many of us have been in third parties. Many of us have felt unworthy. Many of us have tried to go out and after that job and not get it. We've experienced, we all have that in common, right? Empathy, sensitivity. We don't need to know the person to feel that experience. We all have embodied that experience. So, again, shadow healing is a way that allows us to break karmic cycles that keep us in the karmic loop. And a karmic loop is experiencing the same experience that holds a karmic theme. So, a karmic theme, when we're in a relationship with someone that we don't trust, a lot of times we feel shame, we feel victimized, we feel betrayed. Again, any lower emotion. And why this is important as a spiritual being, you are an energetic being, and the energy needs to flow consistently through your body, right? Again, because you are the universe, and the universe's job is to flow through you so it can work through you. And when we are blocked, the energy can't work through us. So then we're not able to really access our intuition. We're not able to have our heart open. We're not able to be led by our gut. We're not grounded enough. There are spiritual imbalances that manifest from having these blocks. And again, they play out within our experiences, especially within our love experiences. So, because this is live stream, and whenever I do a live stream, I like to make it all zodiac. Whoever again lands on this, that's going to resonate with it. Not everyone's going to resonate with it. A lot of people will definitely resonate with parts of it because again, we all have gone through similar experiences because that's part of being human, being a spiritual being, having human experiences. The human experience is actually one that a lot of times teaches us through pain and suffering so that we have something to compare to. Again, you don't really know the light unless you know the dark. You don't really, unless you are able to see things from all different perspectives, you can't really understand everyone that you come in contact with because not everyone is living the same reality. Not everyone has gone through the same experiences, which is why we don't experience the same reality. If we understood that, if we were able to see things from all different perspectives, we'd be able to actually heal the world. Because if we knew, many times we're ignorant and we just don't know what is the right way or what is the ethical way because our society teaches us, our parents teach us, but it depends what your parents went through. So it's the same for you. Your spiritual blocks come from experiences that you have lived through, and then it's understanding not just about the awareness through the reading, but then once you get the reading, you have to apply the information to your life. You need to ground and integrate the information in order to make yourself whole. And it's important for me to say that because a lot of times we go for healing almost expecting someone else to do the full healing work on us. It doesn't work that way. You want to be able to see the results yourself because we all have a spirit part of self and we can always feel when we're like off, when we're blocked, when we're out of alignment, when things aren't going well, when things kind of just feel funky. Do we listen to it all the time? No. So again, this reading is going to be for anyone that lands on it, even though it's a live stream. I'm new to doing live streams, and this channel is relatively new. So I like to give the information. Again, so if you're not someone that wants to heal your trauma, that might not be the channel for you. It's all about healing, and we have trauma within our relationships, within our life experiences. So it's not about predicting your future. It's about creating the life that you want. And sometimes we don't know what that is until we know what we don't want. Okay, self-observation. So again, if you're on this channel, you're definitely are wanting to get more self-observation. Maybe you've observed your life and you're looking for certain things in your life to change. I also feel like you're connected to someone that's doing a lot of self-obsession over the fact of their life choices. So again, energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Just take the message as it best resonates for you. So I'm feeling as if, again, somebody is very obsessed with themselves, but not in a way where they're like, oh, aren't I beautiful? Or, oh, that they are trying to present themselves as if they're perfect. They're almost obsessing about every flaw that they feel that they have. It's again vanity. So, and this also says that there was a time where I believe that they really felt, good and strong with themselves, even with their looks, right? And came across as kind of cocky. And so again, I feel like you've dealt with someone that is very self-obsessed. But self-obsessed because they feel a lack. So it's important to know that because when we come across someone that's cocky and they're acting like, that you can know that they have feelings for you, but then they're so obsessed with again, how you're treating them and how you're making them feel, and all about them. That's the vanity there. And so when a person is in that stance, they're in a survival mode, because when we're actually happy and at ease, we're not thinking constantly about ourselves and what we need to look like and how everything needs to be, because we don't feel that there's something missing from our life. Again, the lack, and the lack is an identity. So you're dealing with somebody, again, and so and there's mainly because they've been around people that are self-critical. So they actually are very self-critical with themselves, which is why they are so self-obsessed. So you're dealing with almost like, it feels like a narcissistic energy. And so understand, if this is a soulmate, if this is a twin flame, if this is any type of spiritual relationship that you find yourself in, you have to say, did I grow up with parents like this? Was it I in an environment before with someone like this? And the answer will all the time be yes. Because people that don't grow up in this environment don't put up with this at all. They don't put up with people that are self-critical, people that don't pay attention to them, people that love themselves and invest in themselves. They don't put up with energy like this, even if it's a soulmate. They might in the beginning feel that connection, but this energy is very heavy energy. It's narcissist energy. It's someone that's all about themselves because they feel lack. And so in the fact that they're so all about themselves, they're selfish. They never think about your needs. And it's not on a conscious level. It's because they have deep-seated wounds. Let's take a look at those wounds. We're going to see also how this plays out, what they're actually doing, because that's important to know. But I want to know, again, because the vanity, like I said, could be looks, but it was what I originally felt was really like them putting themselves on a pedestal, them having a big ego, them looking down on you, looking down on other people. And though they would say they have feelings for you, but their actions, again, were in alignment with this self-obsession. And again, it's very self-critical because of the lack, which is when we feel lack, a lot of times we try to present ourselves as perfect. When people have flaws about themselves, they don't want to show the real parts of themselves because they feel that that's not good enough. So this would be hard to be in a relationship with a type of person like this, understand. And you might have had this energy at one point, also feeling a lack and being very self-critical, and then also trying to be perfect at one time, because understand, it's all about creating yourself. If you can't create yourself, which is by feeding yourself through what it is that you love, what you want to see grow, it's an unfoldment process. That's not just one that happens with you. It happens where the universe and collectively, the universe inspires to make a way where there is no way for you, because you're becoming the vibration of what it is that you are loving, right? Because when you do what you love, you become what you love and you attract only love. But that's a process because everyone has a unique individuality. So on some level, you might say, why do I always attract people that tend to only think about themselves and are so self-obsessed and then are self-critical and are harsh to themselves, so they're harsh to me? Well, it's that lack. So you have to say, what's the wound? And the wound, let's see, 2 came out, so I'm going to take 2 just because it happened. So submissive. So again, sometimes when we feel as if we can't be ourselves, we go along with the crowd. We are codependent and defensive. So again, two energies that are almost like paradox, right? One, to be submissive means like, well, I'm just gonna go along with everything and not really act like I have power. And then so your person might have went into a relationship with you or goes into relationships with people and letting the other person do all the work, and then when they don't like it they stop doing what they want, what the other person wants, and then when questioned they become defensive. So it's almost like you're dealing with paradox, and that's a second chakra imbalance, because again we're seeing almost like all or nothing, right? It's either I'm going to do everything for you and I could be your little slave, or I'm going to be really like defensive and just not like give you anything. I'm going to cut you off. And so that's because that person hasn't, again, formed their second chakra. The second chakra is their unique individuality. If I don't know who I am going to be self critical because I don't know my style and I'm going to be judging my style. And then I'm only going to be looking at myself and I'm going to be so self obsessed that I can't possibly look at you and treat you the way that I need to treat you. I want to look at the triggers, because understand in the beginning of a soulmate twin flame relationship, we don't feel this way about each other. A lot of times you're caught up in the fantasy, right? You're caught up in what that person looks like. You're caught up in like how that person makes you feel like home. So, but the truth of the matter is, it's like, and you're not thinking about it, anything that's negative. It's almost like a little bit of fantasy. It's like that first stage of when you fall in love. It's that beginning phase that everyone loves. That it's exciting. It creates a lot of like hormones and energy. But then when things settle, what happens is we, go into our everyday. And if a person's not on the same vibration, or they need a lot of healing, which in this story, it looks like the person that you're connected to needs a lot of healing. Then what happens is that they aren't, a lot of times they're not doing shadow work and they're not going to like any classes. What they're doing is they usually run into another relationship, or they, find some sort of escapism, which is also the problem with the second chakra, which I'm feeling addiction. So you're connected to someone that has very codependent traits about themselves, because again, the feeling of lack, and that's because they haven't formed their identity yet. So the trigger between you and them, or I'm going to pull their triggers first, then I'll pull yours, which then them again bouncing all over the place and not having an identity, that alone would trigger me. Judged. I felt my thoughts, feelings, and emotions were being judged. So again, whenever you're dealing with a person that doesn't feel good about themselves and never chooses to make a choice, because they're either like submissive, and then the way that they make a choice is just no. You just know the answer is no because they're defensive. They cut off the energy. When you question them because of their behavior and because they feel the lack, they feel judged. That's how you know you're dealing with someone that's on a different vibration, someone that needs to do healing. It doesn't mean that you're better. Our vibration comes from how much light we have, which is how much unconditional love you have. Because that unconditional love, the energy of unconditional love is actually the energy of the universe. And that same energy is the same energy of the divine that you can find it within all of us. Every single person has the divine. However, when we have spiritual blocks, it blocks the light, making it look like a shadow. So everything is again distorted. It distorts our perceptions about ourselves and the world around us. So it's like you can't even have a conversation with a person like this because you are on a totally different vibration. So unless you would dummy down because it's almost too difficult for the person to raise their vibrations high enough and long enough because they shut down. Okay, forgotten. I felt invisible and forgotten by you, which is what this person makes you feel. It's like they judge you. They feel that duh, I can talk. They feel you judge them. And so then they ghost and then they act as if, you're like that you don't exist. They ghost you. It's a very immature again way, and how you're dealing with someone on a totally different vibration, somebody that's on a much lower vibration, because people that can communicate, and they can communicate without taking everything personally, that realize that you're not attacking them when you're making observations and when you're allowed to set personal boundaries. Your person's so codependent that they won't even let you set appropriate boundaries for yourself because they don't have an identity. So because they don't have an identity, they let their emotions run their life. And then if you're attached to someone like that, it's then they're not thinking about what your needs are. So this is what the issue is in this trauma. And these are really the trauma. I have unresolved trauma and I took it out on you, which is again what we know. And usually I would only pull 4, but something told me to pull 5 cards. So the overall spiritual energy that we're dealing with is not good. We're dealing with 2 totally different people that are on 2. When I say 2 totally different people, it's 2 people that are on 2 totally different vibrations. And so your person that you're connected to has so much unresolved trauma. They take everything as if you're judging them. But then when you're in the relationship, or when you were in the relationship, they let you take the reins over everything. But then they would kind of like pick and choose what they wanted to do, that non-committal energy. And then they would be defensive when you called them out on it. And then they would not just be defensive, but then they would ghost you where you forgotten. And this is really the core reason of why is the feeling of lack. When a person is self-obsessed, and they're so vain, and then on top of it, they're self-critical because they don't like who they are. They haven't formed their identity. So I would just see actually what happened. And even though just because we see these horrible cards here doesn't mean your person doesn't love. Understand everybody's version of love is different, and understand also a person that's so broken, their perception of love, of what you would have to do in order to prove that you love them, is a little distorted, and would definitely make you abandon yourself. Because again, that's how codependency many times happens. It doesn't happen because 2 people feel great about themselves. Now we understand what's happened, that we have 2 adults here. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're kids. You could be a grown person and never know who you really are, and not form enough of your unique individuality, which is again where you're putting your time, your energy, your focus, and your money. What ignites your fire? What you're passionate about, and you feed that, and then that grows. And a lot of times, it's what opens up new doorways, and it inspires you to do different, exciting things. It's an unfoldment process with you and the universe, you and God. Because again, when you're interactive in the things that you love and the passions of life that inspire you and stir that energy up within inside you, it creates, you become a magnet for more of that energy. And we don't know what those things are that we're attracting. because that is what the universe brings to us. And understand the universe's plan is God's plan, and God's plan is better than your plan. So we still have to be within our passion and our unique individuality without being self-critical. We have to be able to feel comfortable enough to find ourselves and not really be in a relationship right now because of the trauma, because otherwise we're going to see in the storyline, I bet, a lot of traumatic situations where a person can't show up. So influences, right? So that but came out before. So they're influenced, which obviously happens when we don't have an identity. We don't feel strong within ourselves. Then we're very easily manipulated. We're manipulated emotionally. We are very easily guilted, right? Because we feel judged and we already don't feel good about ourselves. So I feel like someone influenced. They asked, are you going to listen to me? So it's, again, there's a sense of you don't even want to talk to this person if they come back into your life because they don't really listen to you. There's a sense that you don't feel like, ooh, too many. So that, you know what I mean? Why would you even want to waste your time? Okay, I am embarrassed by my actions and feel disgusted with myself. Well, it's, again, because you walked away, because you weren't getting anything. This person expected you to like bend over backwards because of their lack. And that's really, again, when a person doesn't feel good about themselves, but they're giving you the sign that they care and that they have feelings, and it's all passion, but nothing else. It's, they would look embarrassed because now they're realizing I didn't treat you very well. I treated you like you were always going to be there. I treated you as like you didn't matter. I only cared about myself. But you had to leave in order for them to actually see that. Epiphany, and they finally have an epiphany, and the epiphany is that, again, that they didn't act right. I feel that it was all about them. So again, when you tried to set the boundaries, they got triggered. They didn't like that. They didn't want you to do that. And then they threw a temper tantrum. They ghosted. They stayed away for a long time. They expected you to cave. They didn't want to. So this showed your person a lot about themselves. Creative genius, so that you're different. It's, again, they can sense that. That creative genius is that creative aspect of yourself, which is the intuitive side, the spiritual side, the part of ourselves that, again, is not logical and linear. The creative genius is when we can tap into that ESP level with a soulmate twin flame. It's how we create. It's the supernatural part of ourself. So I believe that your person recognizes the difference between their connection with you and who they have been with in the past, and which understand you detaching, making them look at themselves is what really made your person take the time out to actively look at their behavior, because they needed to look at their behavior. Because I don't really believe that they always believed that they were such a bad person. I believe that they have been around people that have influenced them, have made them believe that they're that type of person. And then they live from that level of consciousness. So they never really tried with you. And now they're realizing, I never really tried with you because I was so self-absorbed. I'm embarrassed because I'm actually seeing what a great catch you are. Established. Also because it's like they're established within their career and they've gotten hurt before, but they're actually seeing that you're established in your career, so you would match their energy. I feel like they're used to having to deal with people that they have to do everything for. And there's a part of them that has always gone with people that were on a little bit lower vibration so that they could rule the roost. And they felt comfortable with that. But in the end, they never were able to rule the roost. So again, the trauma is the fact that your person doesn't trust themselves. So in the fact that they don't trust themselves, they've become so self-absorbed and only really consider about themselves. But again, that unconditional love that a soulmate has, that a twin mate soulmate has with each other, that energy transcends time and space. It's a past life relationship. I mean, soulmate twin flames live many, many lifetimes. They meet up in not in every lifetime, but it's not, they don't just live one lifetime together. So they come in and they learn. And so there's a deep spiritual connection with that your person feels with you, but they weren't living on the up and up before. Before you, they were mighty fine, staying asleep, in living, like elevating themselves, mostly elevating themselves by being very vain with what they had and being self-obsessed and not really caring. That worked for them until they met you. So it's important to know that if you're not in contact with them, and it looks like you're not, that things are happening right now, important things. So try to be patient with your person. So let's see what they actually have to say. Please don't move on. Be patient with me is what I felt before. What else? Spiritual awakening from that epiphany, like I said. So they had an epiphany of the way that they were living, and they see that they weren't really like that. I think that they blamed you for a lot of things. And I think that they blamed you for a lot of things because they were able to do that. And there was a part of them that actually was like, I could continue to live this way and it would be okay. But that unconditional love is that energy of the universe. It's God. That's how we learn about God, which is that unconditional love. Right? How would you know what that unconditional love is? Everybody puts expectations on what we believe love should look like. We all want to believe that we can own, like, oh, that person's mine, or I love that and that's mine. But really, that unconditional love is I love that person, but a lot of times that person shows me that they're not really lovable to me, but I still love them. I still haven't disconnected. And sometimes we're like, I've really tried to disconnect, but I can't. And that's because that energetic tie, because that soulmate twin flame relationship, that where we have that bond, it's a divine union. It's one that spirit says, no, I brought you two together because you need to learn. You need to learn. So even though there's separation, you had to do that. That's how you, I believe, are learning a spiritual lesson. That unconditional love is that regardless of what it looks like. And I believe that that's a lesson also that your person is learning. So that's important to know. This can be I'm going to pull one from this deck, and then I want to pull one from the karmic deck because I just want to see what was the point. This is a hard relationship. The whole time you're acting like a fool. And now all of a sudden you're having an awakening. Most likely when I'm about to get over it, right? It's like, because I haven't even pulled how you feel. This is about what they feel. Okay. I'm a better person because of you. You inspire me to heal and grow from my past experiences. So again, there is an internal knowing that they know that this relationship is big, that it means something. However, their actions were in the beginning of this were really sloppy. We're really sloppy. That's why, again, we tend to need to look at a person's intention and not the end result, because an end person's result can a lot of times look really like crappy. where we're like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But remember, you're not getting a person that thinks like you. You're getting a person that you only think like you. You're getting a person that thinks completely opposite. Why? Because a lot of times, again, we're learning the different perceptions of people and we're learning to look through their eyes, how they view the world, and have empathy towards that person, even though a lot of times it didn't work for us. But if there's unconditional love, you'll be able to find forgiveness. So let's see again from this karmic. This is a twin flame, like it tells us what the karmic things are. Oh, look at this, mirrors. So separate or separated or together, we are working in tandem with each other. So it's again, this is what your person believes. They believe that again, that spiritual energy, that bond that they have with you hasn't broken, and you also feel that that bond has not broken, because you can't have a bond. One person can't feel it and the other person not feel it. It doesn't work that way. It's that you can feel it because you can see it in your mind. That's the energy of ESP. ESP is heart and mind connection. So, and the mirrors are what you're feeling. And so I believe that your person made you feel as every which way on how they were trying to make you feel, but you walked away. And when you walked away, you no longer felt that. And that is when your person had to feel it. So you both again are there is mirroring energy going on in this. However, I believe that the mirroring energy a lot of times with soulmate twin flames has to do with, the same feelings that need to be integrated. Like no one should have been able to make you feel lack or not appreciated, and be, again, where they're so self-absorbed within themselves that they're not looking at you, and where you actually sat there like waiting for this person to grow up and they could feel it. So they just didn't grow up until you left. And really, for the person that you're connected to realize that just because there's this spiritual deep connection doesn't mean that you're going to put up with it because they feel inadequate, that they were going to try to make you feel inadequate. They were going to try and keep you stuck. No, 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 darling. And you need to raise your vibration. And that's what I was saying. When they raise their vibration, they're changing their character. You're changing your character from a fear base and a selfish ego perspective where it's all about me. I'm so self-obsessed because I have trauma that I haven't healed. So I'm going to be really, again, self-obsessed and self-critical at the same time, not like myself, and just like all about me. Where I'm not even going to look at you. Though I do have feelings for you, but I don't really know how to act. So sometimes I'm going to just give you all the energy, and other times I'm not going to go along with it. And I'm going to be completely, and anytime you say something to me when I'm defensive, I'm going to act like you're judging me. So, which is low vibration. I don't want to change. So they gave you no option but to leave. And the last card is don't let fear get in the way of this truth, which is really what this is all about. But the fear is the fear that they're not good enough. The fear is that they're going to get in their own way because that's what they keep doing by not really just letting the relationship unfold. Their feeling of lack, their feeling of limitation is what's actually blocking the relationship, though there was a lot of mirroring energy again, but I believe it was not to be together. I believe it was to learn, though a lot of times we can confuse that. And I believe that your person knows I'm a better person because of you, because you're making me be one. You're making me like do the right thing and be the right thing and think about my actions, though it doesn't feel really good and there's still a process. So I'm going to leave that there. If you are dealing with a person that, again, wants everything their way, that is so self obsessed, don't keep talking about it. Put more energy in yourself, meaning don't try to convince your person to be a different person. Allow them to just figure it out on their own, because already we know if you do, they will just rebel and feel judged and they'll shut down. But understand that's not because of you, it's because of their lack and their limitation. And if you sit there and you try to convince them, you too will stay stuck in that lack and limitation because they will not be giving you anything. So kudos to the person that actually walked away and put the energy into themselves, because that's the only way we can heal and really attract what we are trying to attract. So I hope that you guys got something out of this message. If you did, leave me a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you would like to win your own free psychic soul reading, reach out to me. Actually, no, don't reach out to me. What you have to actually do is write the word healer in your comment bar. And then if I write the word winner underneath your comment of, again, healer, then you reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com, and we will figure out a good time that we can do your live stream. All readings are done live stream because it's spiritual. It's a spiritual law that I try to follow, that it's for the best for everyone involved. So the best, not just for me, that I get to display the type of readings and give healing information, but to the person that won the live stream, but to anyone else that lands on the live stream and resonates with it. So that's, again, when it's of the highest good for everyone that's involved. And if anyone wants to reach out to me on or find me on any of my social medias or subscribe to any of my subscriptions, I offer a lot of different ones, from mediumship to healing through, again, just your live streams. You'll find the Patreon link and all those other links in the description box below if you'd like to reach out to me. And for any other reason, you can also find me through my website, pureenergyhealer.com. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.